What lengths would humanity stoop to during times of war and conflict? This question often echoes in the annals of history, as we grapple with the moral and ethical dilemmas that arise during such tumultuous times. War, a grim theater of human endeavor, often blurs the line between right and wrong, pushing us into territories we would otherwise deem unthinkable. One such territory is human experimentation, a dark corner of science that finds its most horrifying expression in war scenarios. The notion of using living, breathing humans as test subjects, without their consent and often with no regard for their suffering, is undoubtedly one of the most chilling aspects of war. As we delve deeper into this grim topic, we'll be introducing you to one of the most horrific episodes of human experimentation during war, Unit 731. One such dark chapter in human history was written by the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II, Unit 731. In the late 1930s, under the shroud of war, the Imperial Japanese Army established a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit, Unit 731. This unit was not just another cog in the wheel of the military machinery. It was a clandestine operation, wrapped in layers of secrecy, and its purpose was far from ordinary. As the world was caught in the throes of conflict, the Japanese High Command was plotting a form of warfare that was as insidious as it was devastating. The plan was to harness the power of disease and toxins to turn them into weapons of mass destruction. And to execute this plan, they needed a specialized unit, a unit that could operate in the shadows away from prying eyes, and thus Unit 731 was born. At the helm of this operation was a man whose name would go down in history for all the wrong reasons, General Shiro Ishii. A military doctor by profession, Ishii was handpicked by the High Command for his relentless ambition and his disregard for ethical boundaries. Under his leadership, Unit 731 was not just a research facility, it was a factory of death, churning out biological weapons with ruthless efficiency. Unit 731 was nestled in the remote outskirts of Harbin, a city in the puppet state of Manchukuo, now northeastern China. The location was strategic, providing the unit with the isolation it needed to conduct its nefarious activities. The facade was that of a water purification plant, a clever ruse to keep the local populace and the international community oblivious to its true nature. Behind its fortified walls, the unit was a labyrinth of laboratories, prisons, and incinerators. It was a place where science was twisted to serve a dark purpose, where human life was reduced to mere test subjects. The activities of Unit 731 were shrouded in such secrecy that even the Japanese government denied its existence for decades. Little did the world know, the walls of Unit 731 concealed horrors unimaginable. Behind the closed doors of Unit 731, humanity witnessed its darkest hour. A chilling thought, isn't it? The very premise of these events is enough to send shivers down one's spine. But let's delve deeper into the abyss that was Unit 731. In this clandestine facility, the Imperial Japanese Army conducted a series of inhumane, unethical experiments on war prisoners and innocent civilians alike. The subjects were not volunteers. They were forcibly subjected to these horrific procedures, their rights and dignity stripped away. They were not patients. They were guinea pigs, treated as expendable objects in the name of research and progress. One of the most gruesome experiments conducted was vivisection. Prisoners of war, both men and women, young and old, were used in these operations. Their bodies were cut open while they were still alive, without any form of anesthesia. It was a practice so horrific, so against the very fabric of human decency, that it remains an indelible mark on the annals of history. But the horrors didn't stop there. Unit 731 was also home to germ warfare tests. Prisoners were deliberately infected with deadly diseases such as bubonic plague, cholera, and anthrax. They were then left to suffer, their agonizing deaths meticulously recorded for the sake of data collection. This grotesque manipulation of life and death was carried out with cold, clinical detachment. Weapon experiments were another facet of the horrors within Unit 731. Prisoners were used as live targets for grenade and flamethrower practice. They were subjected to frostbite to test the limits of human endurance. They were exposed to poison gas and lethal doses of X-ray. Each experiment was designed to inflict maximum suffering, each result a testament to the depths of human cruelty. But let's not forget the appalling living conditions. The subjects were kept in cramped, unsanitary quarters, often without adequate food or water. Diseases spread rapidly, and medical care was virtually non-existent. The physical torture was compounded by psychological torment, as subjects lived in constant fear of what the next experiment might bring. The chilling reality is that these atrocities were not the work of a few deranged individuals. They were systematic, sanctioned by those in power, and carried out by a team of scientists and doctors who had sworn to do no harm. Yet, they inflicted unimaginable pain and suffering on their fellow human beings. As World War II ended, the horrifying truth of Unit 731 came to light. The world had been submerged in warfare, unaware of the grotesque atrocities occurring behind the veiled walls of Pingfang, China. The curtain was finally pulled back, revealing a scene that would forever stain the annals of human history. The revelations began to surface when Lieutenant Colonel Murray Sanders, a U.S. microbiologist, was sent to Japan in September 1945, shortly after Japan's surrender. Sanders was tasked with investigating Japan's biological warfare capabilities. His investigation led him straight to Unit 731. From the testimonies of detained members, he unearthed the horrid details of the experiments conducted on human beings. News of these horrors quickly spread, igniting shockwaves around the globe. The international community was aghast, horrified by the depths of inhumanity that had been reached. The world media dubbed Unit 731 as the Asian Auschwitz, a chilling comparison to the infamous Nazi death camp. The outcry was deafening, and the demand for justice was pervasive. However, the fate of Unit 731 members took an unexpected turn. Despite the global outrage, many of the unit's members were able to evade prosecution. In a controversial move, the United States granted immunity to many of Unit 731's personnel in exchange for the data they had collected during their gruesome experiments. This decision was fueled by the Cold War's onset, as the U.S. saw value in the biological warfare information for its own defense. The unit's commander, Lieutenant General Shiro Ishii, was among those who escaped justice. Ishii lived a quiet life until his death in 1959, a stark contrast to the lives of those who fell victim to his monstrous experiments. The world watched in disbelief as many of those involved in the inhumane experiments of Unit 731 slipped through the fingers of justice. But the revelation of Unit 731 left a permanent scar on the face of humanity. It served as a haunting reminder of the depths to which humans can descend when ethical boundaries are obliterated in the name of science and warfare. The atrocities of Unit 731 force us to question, what lessons must humanity learn from such horrific events? In the face of such unfathomable cruelty, we must find the strength and wisdom to draw lessons that will shape our future. The first lesson is the absolute importance of human rights. Every individual, regardless of their nationality, race, or status in a conflict, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Unit 731 blatantly disregarded this fundamental principle, treating human beings as mere subjects for experimentation. Their actions serve as a chilling reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink when we forget the value of each human life. Secondly, we must recognize the necessity of ethical conduct in war. While war itself is a brutal and destructive force, there are still lines that should never be crossed. The Geneva Conventions were established to set these boundaries and protect the rights of those involved in conflict. Unit 731's actions were a gross violation of these conventions, demonstrating the horrifying consequences when war is conducted without regard for human life or dignity. Lastly, we must be wary of the dangers of unchecked power. Unit 731 was able to operate with impunity because of the absolute power wielded by the Imperial Japanese Army. This lack of oversight and accountability allowed for the perpetuation of these horrific experiments. It serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of checks and balances in any system of power. These lessons may seem self-evident, but history has shown us time and time again that they are all too easily forgotten. We must actively work to uphold these principles in our own lives and societies and speak out against injustices wherever they occur. While we can never erase this dark chapter of history, we can ensure it serves as a stark reminder. May we never repeat the horrors of Unit 731.